Thanks for joining the Golf Underground. Now, the Golf Underground is made possible by Mariner Wealth, helping you navigate your financial future. Star Companies KC. Experience a more energy efficient and comfortable home with Star's insulation services. Cowell Insurance, providing brokerage and risk management services for over 25 years. Sana Orthopedics, care plans backed by research and clinical results, tailored perfectly to individuals' needs. Bob Sight Ford and Bob Sight Independence Kia, where you'll score a double eagle on your next car or truck. Sheridan's Unforked, eating good and feeling good. Lewisburg Ford, nobody sells more F-150s than Lewisburg Ford. And Celebrity Greens, put a custom PGA caliber putting green in your backyard for the ultimate golf experience. Now, on to the program.
ESPN Kansas City presents Golf Underground with Kevin Ward and Brian Sullivan.
Hey, welcome to Golf Underground, ESPN Radio, back in the stable here. We have a very special guest. We'll introduce him formally here in a second, but our man, Wardo, George. And George, say hi to the camera.
Hi.
Yeah, and so it's, George, we got to start the interview talking about your big trip. You went to Vegas. You had a dad's trip.
It was great.
Big weekend. And so we got to tell the listener, what does a George Brett do with his sons when they're in Vegas? Because that would make me curious.
Well, the last time I was in Vegas with all my kids, I think Robin was 5, Dylan was 6, and Jackson was 7. Jackson's been back numerous times. The other two haven't been back. So they were kind of reminiscing on the flight down there from Phoenix. Oh, God, I remember we were at the Mandalay Bay, Dad, and you and Papa Herky were gambling, and we walked by, and then they told us we were too young, you had to get off. Well, they're not too young now. But we got in Friday. We had dinner at Prime Restaurant at the Bellagio. Unbelievable meal.
Fancy, yeah.
Gambled a little bit. We all did pretty good except Robin. And the next morning we got up and played a little golf at Shadow Creek, and
Nice.
Jackson beat me. First time he's ever
What?
beat me in golf.
What's his handicap?
9, 7 or something. But he hits it 100 yards by me.
Oh, really?
He's in Chase and Wardo's territory. It's just ungodly.
He texted me that night. He texted me that night letting me know that he took down his dad for the first time.
Yeah. Dylan struggled. Robin played pretty good. Next day we get up in the morning. We go to the hockey game that night, which was a great experience. If you've never been to a Golden Knight game, you got to go. And next day we get up and play golf again and then go to the Chiefs game. And just had a blast. Just had so much fun with them.
So the way Jackson felt in beating you was probably...
Well, he said, Dad, I got good news and bad news. And I said, what's that? And he said, I beat you for the first time. That's the good news. The bad news is you lost for the first time.
You know, but since you've been...
But I kicked his ass the next day. Kicked his ass.
Who's counting?
Well, over the last year, he's been pretty diligent working with Charlie on his game.
Yeah.
So maybe, you've been slacking a little bit.
2 holes in a row. The last hole at Shadow Creek's a par 5. I hit driver 5 wood, hooked it a little bit, hit a tree, and went out of bounds. He hit driver 9 iron over the green. That's how far he's hit it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that
he deserved to beat me that day.
That
euphoria,
he really did. That's the same type of euphoria you felt the first time you beat Kevin Ward.
Yeah, the first and only.
So
First and only.
Right.
Timing was good,
I'm
wasn't
1 in 20 against him, or 1 in 50
Right.
against him, and I'm 1 in 50 against Seabass.
Right. So maybe that'll happen with Jackson.
Yeah,
maybe
exactly.
He will kick his ass from this point on.
I'm going to get him.
Don't be weak.
We are
now.
going down to Arizona. I think it's the 10th or the 11th. I'm not sure the day of the tournament.
the day
is.
of the big day at Indian.
Yeah, but we have a
you're
father-son tournament at Whisper Rock.
Right.
And we were going to go last year, but COVID was there, and I don't even think they had it. But I promised them I'd take them this year.
Boy, that'll be nice. It'd be like Tiger taking his kid,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Are you going to put pressure on him? Are you going to nag him a little bit? Are you going to let him have some
if
fun?
he plays shitty, I will.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
Are
you
you
got a
gonna
little
do-
tolerance for suckiness.
No.
Okay.
You're going to do no drinking for him, especially
Well, he
early
doesn't
in the
drink
week?
anyways.
That's true.
Oh God, that's easy. I tried that.
They have
this week.
they have an event there, a dinner. It's the only time all year at Whisper Rock you got to wear dinner sport coat.
With your dad? Or with the father-son?
Well, father-son, you got to wear sport coat to dinner. And the good thing about Jackson, going a year without drinking, and he did say something interesting. He said, I might go the rest of my life without drinking. That's how good he feels.
Yeah.
Hey, George.
But I got a designated driver to get me home.
George, you don't
From
drink.
Whisper Rock, 30
I like
minute
that
drive.
better.
George doesn't drink anymore.
I don't drink any less either.
Well, I feel for Jackson because I played on Tuesday. I got the last minute call up, went out and played with some fellas, and I said, you know what? I'm not going to booze it. It's a Tuesday. Who boozes? What? Only drunks drink on a Tuesday, for Christ's sakes. I got a double bogey, par, double bogey.
Said, give me a
bogey,
cocktail.
double bogey, and I still did not grab the White Claw. Ended up shooting a 94.
Good going.
Got
Good
cocked as shit when I was done with that. So I will never, Jackson. That I know you're a great listener of the program. I envy you. I don't know how you do it. I just don't like golf enough to play sober.
Yeah, well.
Cuts into your.
Either there's a guy sitting to my left.
All right, well, why don't we introduce the guy sitting to your left? I walked into the stable today. I saw this tall, handsome fella rummaging around in your office. I thought it was you because all your golfers are shaped alike. You're not short and dumpy. And I said, there's Chase Hanna, one of Kansas City's new rock stars, for crying out loud. And I was a little nervous, didn't know if I should go up. And he reached out,
hug him,
he said, nice to meet you for the first time. I said, oh, son of a bitch, Chase, we've met like 3 times. And so he was embarrassed. It was one of those awkward moments where you were supposed to meet someone. It happens to me, and so it's good to have him. I met him at the Blue Hills during the Corn Ferry Tour 2 years ago, and you were the stud. And so, what's it like to be the next Harry Higgs, for Christ's sakes?
Well, I guess you make bogeys when you meet people that you should already know.
No, it's great. So Chase Hanna, one of Kansas City's guys, he just you got on the European tour, but take us back. You're a Kansas City boy. What club here locally did you go play at?
So neither of my parents play. My mom's dad got me started in golf when I was really little. He lives in Carthage, Illinois, and still keep up with him a lot. And he's not able to watch me play as much, but he got me into golf. And then my parents were super supportive and started out playing with some buddies out at Overland Park on the par 3 course and whatnot when I was really young. And then when I was, I think maybe 6th, 5th, something like that, we joined Meadowbrook. And that's really where I developed a love of the game and had a great crew out there. Connor Kanabe played at K-State, played with him all the time, and then we had a lot of other juniors. So, I was out there all day, all day in the summer, and that was a great place really where I could, work on my game and just play a ton, and it's really close to home. So that made it easier.
I like it. All right, so you just recently secured your European card. Talk through what life's been like since you obviously had a great career at Kansas, but you secured your card, and talk through life on the Challenge Tour and give the listener kind of an insight of what the Challenge Tour is like.
Yeah, so I got status in 19. So in the fall of 19, it was the first year we were able to play both Q schools. For whatever reason, the powers that be in golf, we weren't able to play both Europe Q School and Corn Ferry Q School. The dates would always conflict. So they made a scheduling error or something. We were able to play in both. So I played well over in Europe, didn't play as well here in the States. So it was an easy choice to go over to Europe. And then obviously COVID happened. So 2020, unless you were on a major tour, was pretty much a lost year for developmental guys like me, who weren't already on a major tour. So, this year was obviously a big year for me, not really having anything of substance to play in 2020. So I played 7 events in a row, week off, 7 events in a row, week off, 7 events in a row. So I played 21 events in 23 weeks.
Wow.
Which is...
He's like Appy Barnrat.
He is like Appy Barnrat.
Yeah, can't say I will ever do that again, or certainly ever had. But yeah, it was a grind this year, and you kind of had to do it because there's most of the Challenge Tour events, there are a few that are bigger than others in terms of points and money, but most of them are the same. So if you take a week off, you're missing a chance, to have a top 10 and, move up the rankings. Right. Because, as we saw just 2 weeks ago, the difference between getting your card and not is very slim. So I can't say I regret, playing 21 events in 23 weeks, but it was certainly a grind. And
so you played all over Europe?
All over Europe. We started in South Africa with 3 events.
Hey, stop right there. What happened in South Africa?
I went I don't know.
Who
Sinks, what
was
did we
on your
do?
back? That's why I'm bringing
Yeah,
it up.
Michael
Our
Sinks is on the
caddy
bag.
/ producer / I mean, the jack of all
How
trades.
was
He's
the
got a
flight?
lesson
How
in
was
10
the flight,
minutes.
Sinks? Was the flight good?
The flight coming back was longer, but it felt shorter because I slept the entire flight.
Hey.
The flight there was miserable.
All right, would you have?
So his first event caddying was literally in the bush in South Africa. So I think he was like, "What did I get myself into?" In the middle of nowhere, we made the cut, and that was about it. Then we missed the cut in Cape Town, and then we had a great week. Tied for third in probably the second or third biggest event on the Challenge Tour season. So that was big. Is having a big finish.
So on that tour, you came in third. What was the payday on something like that? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was probably
Probably
just,
to the penny, don't
just
you?
yeah. I think it was just under 20,000 euro. So we'll call it 18, 19, something like that. And so when every other event is 200,000 euro, the only person making more than 18,000 is the winner that week, or maybe second place, probably second. But so that was a big event just to kind of move me up the leader or the money list for the year, and give me a little cushion, as well as just kind of give me some confidence.
So you finished third. How many shots out of the lead?
2, I believe. I think we missed the playoff by 2.
so the difference between 200,000?
No,
Euro?
sorry, the overall purse for each event
Overall,
is
okay.
200,000.
Because I saw some of the events you were performing really well in. I'm like, oh, he had to do $4,200. I'm like, holy crap! I would have thought you'd be banking some cash, but I think that's the lesson, right? People think the PGA Tour it's like baseball. It's hard to get there. Minor leagues, you don't make shit, right? It's the same gig. You got to log hours.
It's the same thing with baseball. Like if there's not much middle class in baseball, and the same thing goes with golf. You're either at the majors on a major tour, or you're fighting and clawing to get there. So pretty much if you make any decent money on a Corn Ferry tour or a Challenge tour, you're off it the next year.
So what advice would you give to the mini tour guy that's grinding it out here in the States, chasing Mondays, et cetera? What do you feel like you've experienced with the travel and kind of all over the globe now?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is you have to find a tour that you can play on. And there's only so many spots over here on the Corn Ferry and the PGA Tour. It's just like guys who play in the NBA who go over to Europe or try to play in the NBA. That's the biggest thing of advice. I would just tell them to try to find a tour, and obviously that's a lot easier said than done. But I think a lot of guys are hesitant to go overseas. I've now played overseas for, if you don't count 2020 as a year, for my 3 years as a pro, I've played overseas for all of them. And I mean, I didn't study abroad, so I guess this is my study
Right.
abroad.
Right. Why do you think folks are reluctant to do it? Because I think that would be fun as hell.
Yeah.
Where you're playing, wouldn't
How
that be?
about some of the cities you get to
Right.
play in?
Yeah, I mean,
He was telling me
I've been to Sao
Mallorca,
Paulo.
and all of. Tell us some of the cities.
Well, in South Africa, that was
Cape Town's beautiful. I've been there.
Yeah, Cape Town's gorgeous. Europe is Europe. It's obviously a lot of Americans have been there, but my favorite was South America, Central America. I still remember to this day Costa Rica. We were jet skiing on like Monday or Tuesday. That's probably why I had a bad week.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just like, this is the most unbelievable place we've ever been.
That was
The Latin America tour is kind of like a fraternity traveling on the road, because it's a bunch of, you'll get the occasional journeyman, but it's usually the guys who just graduated college or in the last 5 years. So that was a lot of fun.
That's got to be a
And
blast.
The year I played was with Harry. We roomed together probably the first half of the year. Curtis Yonke was there, so we had a good group. So that was a lot of fun. And then Europe is obviously a lot different than Central and South America, but some beautiful places, and obviously it's a quicker path to where you want to be.
Well, right, and I think if you can get a combination of playing great golf, European Tour is no slacky stuff.
DP World Tour now.
Yeah, it's called the DP World
Kind
Tour.
of like when they went to the Corn Ferry. What the
exactly.
hell is that?
What does DP
Better.
stand for?
It's some
Deep pockets.
UAE, exactly.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Deep
It's some
Pockets,
UAE,
George Brett.
Probably Dubai company. It's a logistics company that I
The
believe-
race to Dubai. That's their whole
Yeah.
the oil men.
Yeah, it's
They,
this week.
Yep, they got all you little American boys just
That's right.
clawing at them, right? It's like European soccer, all owned by the. No, I think it's awesome for a guy your age. How old are you?
27.
Yeah, I mean, in your 20s to be able to travel.
Sure, it's the greatest. I love going to Europe.
Right.
I really do.
And if you stay here going through this, you don't. I mean, it's, you go to Minneapolis. You're not in Paris and London and Scotland, and so I think it's a.
Well,
it's
let me ask you a
awesome
question.
story.
Can I ask you a question? You played with Woodland, right?
Yeah, I've played with him a few times.
Yeah. So what's the big difference between yours and his game?
Well, back then we weren't really on the same playing field. I probably haven't played with him in maybe 2-3 years. Give or take.
Just consistency.
Yeah, I mean his ball striking was at a different level. I think my short game, really since I got to KU, even was probably PGA Tour level. I would say in college it was really good. And the only
So do you miss greens on purpose because you're a bad putter?
no, my
No,
putting,
he wants to chip in a lot, so he will miss green. Wants to work on his chipping.
Yeah, I mean, chipping and short game was really the only reason I had a halfway decent college career. And then I've kind of developed into a better ball striker with the help of Kevin and working out more and working on my body.
Stable.com, thegolfstable.com.
Definitely getting in the stables helped me a lot. And it's a huge credit to kind of me progressing.
Let's talk about this because you started a par 3 course in Overland Park. You end up going to Meadowbrook, right? You're hanging out with a bunch of kids. Now you got to be you got to be the best amongst all the kids, which
Then went to Shawnee Mission East.
which is another
He's
good
a Lancer.
program.
He's a Lancer.
Right?
Were you all state?
Sorry to hear that. I'm a Rutgers
Yeah, you guys
guy.
won the state championship, didn't you?
Won the state championship my first 2 years, and then I never won state individually. For whatever reason. My senior year was at Meadowbrook, so a lot of people tell you, it's good to have. So I don't know if it was the extra pressure or what, but I think I shot maybe 76, 75. Still placed, but we didn't win. We lost to Blue Valley North, who we beat probably just about every other time, and they played a lot better than us that day and beat us.
But I want to ask the two of you, right? Because you've mentored Chase. You just mentioned you helped him become a better ball striker. Now, you go to a youth program at a club like Meadowbrook, maybe there's 20 kids running around. Some of those kids come out like you or Harry, and I'm always curious, you as a coach of young guys like this, are they all I know they're not all starting with equal skill or aptitude to be athletic.
Yeah.
But why do guys like Chase make it? Other than the obvious hard work, but I'm always curious about the formula.
So I don't know if there is a formula, but I would say probably what I see in Chase is the ability to grind, hates to lose, wants to get it in the hole as fast as he can, right? And so that's how he's gotten to where he is. And we sat down about 2 years ago and kind of looked at his swing and some of the things he did mechanically, and I just told him I didn't think that where he was mechanically could get him where he wanted to go. Your short game, your putting, your chipping can only be, like he alluded to, on so many weeks in a row. And so what was tough what I try to do is morph into the student, right? So how does he learn? What's his way of learning? What's his style? How can we make changes? And so we did a lot of the changes and work in the off season, both in 19 and then again in 20.
COVID was probably the best thing that ever happened.
Yeah,
for me.
You had to go to work, right? Just work on your game instead of playing it.
Yeah, and then exactly. And so, COVID was a great thing for Bryson. And so what that allowed us to do is make some changes, get him stronger. There's a little bit of things nagging him body-wise. And so that's kind of the biggest sauce. But I think a lot of times coaches will see a great player like Chase, and there might be some things fundamentally that may need to be addressed, but they kind of just let him slide because he's Chase. And it's like, well, I was texting back and forth with another great player, Joseph Winslow, the other day, and I'm like, he sent me his swing. I go, look. He goes, it's hooking. I go, well, look. And I screenshotted it where it's at, and I go, this isn't going to cut it. He's all right, I'll get to work on it. And so I don't know. I just think they're such good athletes and such good kids. They deserve the truth, and they also deserve the best advice to get them from point A to point B.
But how do you balance this? I take us back to Austin, and we're sitting in the Cowboy or the University of Texas with your coach, Chuck Cook. And this does apply to you. And I'll never forget something Chuck Cook said, you had one little thing in your swing that I just felt like I had to fix. And my biggest regret was trying to fix that. So how do you look at a player like Chase who might have this? You said you owe it to them to be truthful and honest, but when do you know, is that one little thing, if I tweak, I'm going to screw them up?
Yeah.
That's got to be a tough balance.
On his swing, it was more of one or two little things that if I don't address it for him, that's going to not help him get to where he wants to get. And so his was a little different where it was like blaringly obvious to me.
Right.
And so his was a little different in that regard, but usually everybody has their tendencies in their, their body and the way they move and their kind of their triggers. But, that's what I try to do is morph in. It's not like this one size fits all. All right, you got to swing it like this and shallow it out. And, it's just how do you help them be the best they can be within that? Yeah. And he's always going to be a great short game pitcher, chipper, putter. And he's got a great mental makeup. And I think part of the reason the mental makeup's so good now is because he's traveling all over the globe. Pretty taxing.
Right. Well, and I don't know. I think you also, when you're in different environments, you're a little more flexible. I mean, you can adapt to things. Maybe things don't bother you as much. You don't know, right? That's the other thing about trips like this. You don't know how it's going to help you in a pressure situation. Maybe it is, or maybe it's not on a golf course, but I bet these experiences are rounding you out as a guy, right? That somehow makes you a better golfer.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think Koepka mentioned it when he played Challenge in Europe. Is when, hopefully soon when I get back to the States, everything's gonna be so easy. Instead of flying 14 and a half hours like I am after a wedding on Sunday, I'm flying 2 hours to North Carolina.
Right.
Which
private.
Yeah. And private. Exactly.
Wheels up, George.
I got two levels to go. I got to get to the PGA Tour first, and then the NetJets Tour. So.
Well, I think it's funny you say that about the environments and the conditions. Like when I first turned pro and played Gateway Tour, which is out in Arizona now called the Outlaw Tour, there'd be guys that grew up or lived in Scottsdale or went to ASU or U of A that would clean up on that tour, win 2, 3, 4 times a year, be the leading money winners or top 3, top 5, and then Q school. And they'd go to Q school in Nevada where it's 35 degrees when they're teeing off and wind. And there was a lot of those guys would struggle.
Yeah.
And so, but they were really good on those courses they knew and playing in the Dome in Scottsdale when the ball's going a mile when it's May or June in Scottsdale.
Like mine at your wedding.
Yeah, you were just sending it.
Yeah. Right, George?
Sent it.
Although, you were playing in a very fancy.
You sent it.
Yes, you did. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah, I can even play good in Scottsdale. I get it. Now, probably not so good in Madagascar. I'd probably suck over there, All right, let's take a short commercial break. We're with Chase Hanna, one of Kansas City's, I won't say rising stars. He's already arrived. PGA Tour Europe. Hey, by the way, get up 2 a.m. Watch him on television in 2022. Come on back. You're on the Golf Underground, ESPN Radio.
Hey, Brian Sullivan here, and I've got a tip for you. You've got to head to Unforked. It's an amazing restaurant. What I like about these guys is they promise to buy and support seasonal, local ingredients first. And I love the fact that they source from smaller, family, GAP certified, or organic farms, prime-going regions, artisan producers. All I'm getting at is, if you like fresh stuff, Unforked is the place to be. And like they say it, fork or no fork, you can be sure you're getting the highest quality, socially responsible ingredients possible. And not to mention, it's delicious. So whether you're out south or downtown, stop by Unforked for a delicious and healthy meal. Sheridan's Unforked. Honest, clean food.
Cowell Insurance Services is your leading program administrator for workers' compensation. They're dedicated to meeting the unique challenges of the insurance industry and assisting employers in reducing their costs. CIS has provided insurance claim and loss control services to various industries, including trucking, construction, retail convenience stores, and healthcare, as well as public entities for over 30 years. They work with both retail agents and industry clients, or a combination of the two. If you're tired of fighting the rising costs of premiums and claims, give Cowell Insurance Services a call. Their dedicated staff is ready to find you the best insurance option at the most competitive price. They can help to define or enhance your safety program in order to move you in the right direction in reducing your claim and premium costs. Contact Cowell Insurance Services today, 816-214-4070.
Hey, Brian Sullivan from the Golf Underground here with a little good news. And that good news is that even double-digit handicappers like me can occasionally make a double eagle. All right, maybe not on a golf course, but even guys like me can score when buying a new car or truck. I'm talking about 2 stores, 2 brothers, and 4 generations, treating customers just like family. I'm talking about our buddies at Bob Sight Ford and Bob Sight Independence Kia. With these guys, you'll always score 2 under, with double the inventory and double the customer satisfaction. That's the Bob Sight Double Eagle. Now, Bob Sight offers a wide selection of vehicles and promise to make the car buying process as quick and as hassle-free as possible. Now, whether you have poor credit, no credit, or maybe a first-time car buyer, you can trust Bob Sight Ford. And Bob Sight Independence Kia will get you into the car or truck you choose with professionalism and attention to your needs. So go visit our buddies at bobsight.com, but only if you're looking for a vehicle that makes you feel like a U.S. Open champion.
You're better than the best. Hey, welcome back. Golf Underground, ESPN Radio, back in the stable. George, Brett, Sully, and Wardo, and
The Chase Hanna.
the Chase Hanna from the European Professional Golfers Association Tour. Chase, thank you for joining us in the Golf Underground today. Appreciate having you. You know, that,
Of course.
we
Thanks
do
for
you have
having
to
me.
wait till you're on camera for crying out loud? What do you think?
I was
Red
just-
lights out.
I was just
He
taken,
likes
I was
these-
just taken aback with the intro there.
You're right. Felt very.
I didn't know if you wanted to keep going or not.
Well, you know, you were on the Challenge Tour of Golf. This is like the Challenge Tour for radio, really. You know, we're really not that great at it, but you know, we're working our way
We
up.
have more fun than anyone, just like the Challenge Tour, right?
Plus, we give George a nice couch, something to do in the afternoon.
Also, I got the best seat in the house.
George, what beer are you
Border
on?
Patrol would probably love to have George on every week.
No, jeez, don't you? That's the competitor. Stop. Although we do love Chad.
Whatever,
Burgundy.
you know.
The what?
You name-
What would?
The Border
Sports
Patrol.
Radio
We
810.
do love Sports
I
Radio.
used to
810.
do that. I did that when I about 1999. I did it.
Isn't this more fun, though?
This is a lot more fun.
Relaxed environment. I
Relaxed.
mean, how many shows do you
I
get to
got a
sit on
cold
a
one
couch?
right here. I got a cold beer right here. Already worked out. Steam,
You
sauna,
earned it.
shaved.
How much time did you spend on the elliptical today?
45.
How is your new
45.
elliptical?
It's my old elliptical. I got a new bike.
New bike.
I got rid of my treadmill and got a bike.
So you walked to London this morning,
Walked London 3 miles and then
and
got
then
home
you
and
45 minutes.
then did 45 minutes. Took a steam and a sauna and shaved. Rinsed off. Didn't use soap. Excuse me. I put deodorant on though.
I noticed when you
Because
walked in.
I got a dinner tonight I have to go to, so I figure I'll just
One shower a
then.
day, George.
Well, I
all
like
right,
it.
you don't
Yeah.
want to. Your skin will get flaky.
I'm going
if
to come,
you
go
take
after
two.
the show, and go hit some balls, get a little sweaty, and
Oh, so
The
listen
life
to
of a
this.
Hall of Famer. This is what it's like. See, Chase, if you're on the PGA Tour, you're going to live a life post PGA Tour like
I hope
George
so.
Brett.
Yeah, we got a ways to go to live that life.
Do you
I
know?
hope
I
so.
think you focus on that. Hey, question for you. You know that Kiradek Epi Bonrat, right? You know him?
I mean, I know who he is. Yeah.
Thai guy?
Yep.
So he said when he won his first $5,000 event, the first thing he did is he went and bought something that was worth $5,000. It was a car. So, and when he won his next tournament, he won $10,000. He bought something worth $10,000. So he spends every damn nickel he earns. Now, what have you done with your cash?
Well, first thing is, I don't know if you could buy a car for $5,000 right now.
No,
No.
you can't.
I wouldn't want to see what that.
I wanna
looks
be
You
like.
can't buy a
car dealer.
Peloton for $5,000.
What am I going to do with? Well, maybe your first step would be for like the 2 days I'm in Kansas City, I could move out of my parents' house. That'd be a good start.
that would really be good.
Yeah, they would appreciate
I'm
it.
here for maybe, I don't know, 30 days a year, 40 days a year. Obviously, COVID was more. So I guess that'd be a start. And then, I don't know. I bought a car. It was a little more
What'd
than
you get?
$5,000.
What'd you get?
Ford Fusion from Bobby Sight.
Nice.
Shout
Bobby.
out Bobby Sight.
Bobby
That's right.
Sight's coming in for a little lesson
That's
at
right, the
5:30
double
days.
eagle.
First one of the year.
There you
Let's go.
So yeah, it's good. Gets me from point A to point B.
There-
Yeah.
That's all you need.
So my high school car was down in Florida when I'd go in the winter, and that thing just shot craps and got $400 for the medal. So that's a good start.
Solid.
See, I like this. Chase is more my type of guy. You know, when you had the Epi Bonrat, he's showing his $250,000 watch, is very fancy. I'm saying he's got to be broke. You're gonna be like the millionaire next door.
Chase is
PGA
Okay,
guy.
I got one that's going to maybe, hopefully, make Chase a lot of money.
What do you got?
What are your sponsors? I mean, who do you wear on your sleeve? Who do you wear
So
on your
right
hat?
now, right now,
I know
I'm
he's a
wearing-
lot of a free agent.
If you have an open
Yeah,
slot, maybe one of
yeah,
our
I've got-
listeners will back you.
Yeah, I've definitely got some open slots.
Okay, so what
the
do you
one,
got?
So the one that my kind of group has brought me, an agency I signed with over in Europe has brought me Maxi Pay. So now the joke obviously is I'm
Maxi
wearing
Pay?
Maxi Pad on my shirt.
What?
No.
It's
What?
Maxi Pay. Maxi Pay. The joke is
Wait a second.
the joke is I'm wearing Maxi Pad on my shirt, but it's Maxi Pay, maxipay.com, and obviously this isn't a very good pitch for Maxi Pay.
No, it's great.
It's a great
He'll
mix.
never listen.
Well,
to
it's
it.
a start.
and,
It's a start.
Yeah.
And what else you got? Do
Any
you have a hat
publicity is
thing?
good, right?
Do you have a hat?
Well, I'm wearing Titleist right now. I think that's
Do
kind
they
of.
pay you anything?
Yeah, we're working that out right now. Titleist. They have this past year, and fortunately, I played well in 2 European Tour events that I got in that were co-sanctioned with Challenge or co-counting, however you want to call it. So that was nice.
Where's your Maxi Pay? Is that on your
Maxi Pay's on the front of the shirt.
on the front? Okay. And you got a Titleist hat. They might pay you something. They might not. You don't know yet. You're negotiating.
Yeah, exactly.
And I saw your bag out there because you're going to work with Wardo. You got a KU. You got a KU bag with your name on it.
I got KU right now. Believe
But
it or not,
KU's
there's
not
a
paying
whole-
you anything.
No,
So
no,
who
there's
do you
not.
want? Who would you like to have on your bag?
Like
I mean,
Diamond-
you need,
He's
you
an
need a
agent.
sponsor. You need a sponsor on your bag, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
Listeners, you got a great kid, an all-American kid, the kind of kid that you would want your daughter to marry.
Right.
Sitting right here.
I agree.
He's got a chance to be one of the great golfers of our time. You can get him cheap right now.
Cheap as hell.
You
He's
can
a
get him
value
cheap.
play.
Yep.
You can get him cheap.
Yep.
So
He's like buying Bitcoin 5
Speaking
years
of
ago right
daughter,
now.
his girlfriend, her name is Hanna.
Hanna.
Hannah.
How great
Hannah
is that
Reeves.
going to be?
Hannah.
If there were to be a
and he's
marriage,
thinking about getting married. I was talking to him on the putting lab today.
She might be listening
Thinking about
right
it.
now. Hey, would
no,
you-
I said thinking
George,
about it.
Don't sell him out
She
right
lives
here
in
on
New
the.
York. She doesn't listen to the show.
she listens to the
I
show.
think listen. She's gonna.
You know
find out.
what? Maybe what he's going to do with the first big check is buy some ice.
Maybe
you know?
he's going to buy one as big as Turtle's wearing over here.
Yeah, I know. That
Blinding
thing,
me.
that
God.
rock just keeps changing the cameras so much
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah.
I mean, jeez.
Hey, listen,
unbelievable.
Turtle. I've got an idea. You do like Leanne does. That's my wife. She goes to Claire's and buys fake big wedding rings. We were out with the Hewletts, speaking of Ford,
Brad?
the other night with Rebecca and Brad. And Rebecca, she likes the finer things in life.
Oh, is
Looks
that
over
right?
at my wife's ring, and then she looks at me. She says, "It was about time you did that for her." It cost her $12 at Claire's like 3 hours before. I'm like, it was time. I agree,
Yeah.
and I'm kicking her under the table, you know. So I think it's kind of like buy her the Ford Fusion of rings, the starter ring. Right, and then you get fancy, and then go to Claire's, and then you can look fancy. Okay,
good- that's
you
a
can
good
upgrade
pitch.
her. Right,
Upgrade.
By the way, I'd make sure someone checks out that ring. Believe me.
Oh, jeez.
So you play. So you play
Jeez.
Titleist, or you hit Titleist balls. You play Titleist. You play
played
Titleist
for a long
balls?
time.
What kind of shoes you wear?
FootJoy.
FootJoy.
Yep.
FootJoy give you anything?
Well, FootJoy and Titleist are kind of the same.
Okay.
But so I guess, yeah, in that sense.
Okay. What kind of rangefinder do you have? Bushnell.
Can't use rangefinder.
I know, but you got to carry one. What do you got? Bushnell.
I do.
Okay.
Golf towel?
Shout out Seabass.
Okay,
Golf towel?
so Seabass is taking care of you. We got to figure out some more stuff. Where
George.
you got
Oh,
all
we should
these-
get- we
who-
should get-
your shirts. I mean, who makes your shirts? Are you Under
Under
Armour?
Armour's been giving
I
me-
see Under Armour now.
So now
Do you wear all Under Armour?
I do now, yeah.
Okay, and it's free. Are you
It's
getting
free, yes, it's
okay,
free,
you just
yeah.
look at the catalog and say, "Yeah, give me these."
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm an extra large.
Yeah.
I'm an extra large.
Hey, George, you think
Why-
You and
maybe
I are
the
the
little-
same size, aren't we?
No, large.
You're a large.
I'm a large.
George, maybe the little flower
you, George?
shop should
I
throw some
think.
dough
I
out.
mean, I don't know if we could put a little flower shop logo on your hat, would you wear it?
I mean, absolutely, right? I
We're
remember-
not going to pay you.
I remember
Would you wear
my
it?
favorite George Brett story is I asked, you're fixing up your house.
Yeah.
And I said, George, you think about selling? He's like, no. But he's like, everything's always for sale.
Everything's
So
for
you know
sale.
what?
Yeah.
Little flower shop, it's for sale.
Why would you not?
It's not
And
for
he could
sale,
be
but
your-
it's for sale, but we're not selling it.
He could be your spokesperson, you know, and he could be the all-American boy that's in the little flower shop commercials that'll be coming out soon.
Can
you
Kind of
imagine?
like you're all in all these
No,
Blue
we're not
Cross.
doing commercials. We're not
Yeah,
doing
come on.
commercials.
But you imagine
wanna go
a
global,
maxi
George?
pad on one side and a flower on the other?
I think
You
it would
will.
be
You will.
great.
You know what? We've been trying to make the game a,
rose,
little bit
just
more
a nice rose, just a rose on your sleeve.
subtle, little rose. Yeah, I think that'd be nice.
Maybe my off weeks I can open up a little flower shop in, I don't know, London or.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that'd be
Who knows?
great.
Hey, do you think maybe the Kansas City Royals might become a sponsor for a nice Kansas City boy like this?
Somebody on the tour is sponsored by MLB.
I saw
Peter
that.
Malnati.
Peter
Then there's
Malnati,
two of
really?
them.
Yeah.
Then there's two of them.
Is it
Somebody
Ryan
else
Palmer,
is.
maybe?
Someone had a
They
specific
wear the
team, didn't they?
no.
There
no,
was MLB
They had
logo?
the MLB logo.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Maybe the
you're
Royals would be a
Hall
sponsor.
of
Just
Fame.
give you a KC hat. to
Baseball's trying to grow in Europe, isn't it?
wear. I don't know about Europe. China, I know it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I think George, you got to start selling for the guys.
Yeah. Now the Japanese tour is different than the European tour.
Yes, very much so. The
Okay,
Japanese.
but will you play any tournaments over there?
Yeah, they've announced one in Japan. They haven't announced where. I think it's in April.
If you go over there, wear a Yomiuri Giant hat, baseball hat. They're like the San Francisco Giant. It looks just like the Giants. It's black with a orange logo, and they're the biggest. Well, at least back in the 80s. I was over there in 81 playing, and I've been to China or to Japan many times and been to a lot of baseball games. They were the franchise.
Huge fans.
They were the New York Yankees of
Right. Who was our manager a few years ago who came from the Japanese league?
Trey Hillman.
Trey Hillman.
Hillman.
Was he with the Giants over there?
No,
he was with it.
not. He was with U-Colt Swallows or something. I don't know.
Wow, that's like a
Yeah,
maxi
I
pay.
don't know.
Okay, so tell the listener. So obviously, life on European tour is going to be more glamorous. Still travel, but now you're going to be playing for some monster cash, big purses. So tell the listener what that's like in terms of the world ranking, and then obviously, hopefully, the ultimate destination to getting on the big tour.
Yeah, so the Monster Cash is really in a cluster of maybe 10 events on the European Tour schedule.
Are you going to skip half those?
No, it's definitely not. That's definitely not me. I probably play too much, if anything. But the issue for me is getting in those big events. To get in the Rolex events, which is for PGA Tour lingo, that'd be like their invitationals. It's hard for guys like me to get in those events. So either I need to win early in the season and get in, so that's obviously the goal, or then next year in the 22-23 year, if you keep your card, you usually get into all those events. So that's kind of how the tour is structured. Some big events to try to entice people to come over from the PGA Tour and play. And then with the new signing of the DP World Company, they're expecting every event to be at a minimum of $2 million US, which is a good jump from last year when the tour took a pretty big hit due to COVID, much bigger hit than I don't. It's for sure they took a lot bigger hit than the PGA Tour did,
Right.
due to COVID. So
Yeah, they were shut down a little bit more, right?
yeah,
You look
yeah.
at
I mean,
our-
the schedule
our
in Europe,
PGA, it
the
was
schedule in
packed.
Europe in 2019 pre-COVID was awesome. They were really growing. The tour had made huge steps, and then COVID really hurt them. And they're obviously with DP World coming behind them, they're starting to get back to where they were.
All right, what's the coolest city you've been in while on tour?
Wow.
Most fun place?
Yeah, I'd probably have to say honestly, my first probably international trip was to Bogota, Colombia. That's probably still my favorite.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was for Q School.
El Chapo?
That was El Chapo. Yeah.
Oh.
I remember I was watching Narcos like the 3 weeks before I went,
Just to prep?
just to prep. Yeah, just to prep for the culture.
You just kept
No,
your
it was
mouth
great.
shut, kept your hands in your pocket, looked straight ahead, right?
No, Colombia is beautiful. That was a great place. And then in Europe, I don't know. It's always cloudy over in Europe.
It is.
So cloudy.
It's very depressing. We're very depressed people.
Spain is probably by far my favorite country in Europe. Obviously,
Barcelona or where?
we played north of Barcelona for 2 weeks this year, and then we played in the south in Cadiz, and then we actually had the weekend off because we played the same course 2 weeks in a row and just had one day in between. So we played Thursday through Sunday, Monday off, Tuesday through Friday. So then Hanna and I, we went to Seville, which is Kansas City's sister city,
Right.
and that was amazing.
Fountains.
Little
Yeah,
fountain.
Fountains has the same. It
Looks
has
like the plaza.
it has the Lewis
right?
and Clark statue,
Uh-huh.
actually in Seville. It has the same tiles, the tiling that we have on the plaza.
We stole it from
Seville's
them, by the
beautiful.
way.
I've
Wasn't
been
our
there.
idea.
No, I think
When you
Seville.
were in
think Seville's
south
a little
of,
bit older
south
than
of
Kansas
Spain,
City.
did you play Valderrama?
No, so that'll be a stop on the European Tour schedule next October. Should get into that event where I stand now. So that's obviously a world-class course. Everybody raves about it.
Right. Yeah, I went there for the Ryder Cup. My first Ryder Cup
Okay.
was there. It was unbelievable.
So what European Tour player, obviously we all got the household names here in the States. Which guy are you excited to maybe get paired with, see on the range, maybe have a nice VOD with?
Yeah, Marcus Armitage seems like a beauty. He's I'm not sure where he's from. I think he's from the UK. He seems like a character, kind of a lovable, just very relatable guy. He would be fun to play with. And then, there's so many good South African players on the European Tour. I played with Justin Harding this year. He's from South Africa. I think he got very close, if not cracked the top 50 a couple years ago. And then
maybe a little Lee Westwood. He plays in Europe.
Westwood would be sweet.
Shane
Obviously,
Lowry.
a lot of the household names that kind of only play in the Rolex events, the BMW, which is a Rolex event, the Open. So, those are the events, obviously, you want to play in and play with the biggest names.
Hey,
So-
what's the perception amongst European Tour players, even the big names, about the difference between the American Tour and the European Tour? Do they look at their tour as being equal, or do they? I mean, certainly we have the Ryder Cup, and typically it's very competitive. But is it a step up to go to the American Tour, or no?
Well, I think it has to be, right? I mean, you look at all the biggest players: Lee Westwood, Rory McIlroy, Tommy Fleetwood. I could go on and on.
They're all in Jupiter, Florida now.
Yeah, it feels like they've all. There's a reason they're all playing in the States. There's a reason the PGA Tour, doesn't have, at least they claim they don't, pay show up money or incentive money for them to tee up, while the European Tour clearly does. But no, I think a lot of guys are very comfortable on the European Tour, and frankly, love it, and they think their tour is great, which it is. I mean, it's an awesome tour. It's to me clearly the second best tour in the world.
Of course.
I don't think you're going to get anybody to dispute that. But it's definitely different games. I think it kind of fits my game well. It's very windy, firm. It's not just the kind of brain dead golf you get to play on the PGA Tour or in the States. Not every course in the States for the most part on the PGA Tour is very cookie cutter.
Yeah.
You got 33-yard wide fairways, you got 60-yard landing areas,
Right.
you got bunkers, but over on especially the Challenge Tour, you're playing older courses that are just kind of goofy. They've got 2, 3, 4 holes that are just weird. Like
Crossing each other. Right?
Yeah, there's
Weird.
no appropriate way to play it. You just have to kind of figure it out and how to get through it for 4 days. So I think that kind of benefits me more. I think there's definitely more. The golf courses are probably better in Europe in terms of like architecture, I would say.
Are they more fun because they're a little more creative?
They're so weather dependent, a lot of them. I feel like every week on the PGA Tour, with the exception of maybe, 7 to 8 weeks, it's just 75 and hardly any wind, right?
Yeah.
Versus
They follow those weather patterns, right?
Yeah. Versus in Europe, you get all sorts of weather, all sorts of wind directions. The wind will change during the week. So I would say that's the major difference, is just fairways are heightened in Europe. And I'm still, top 30, 20% of distance, but fairways are, I would say, a little bit more important than what I've seen playing Corn Ferry events. I haven't played any PGA Tour events. I obviously see them on TV. So that's my experience. That could be very different than others who have played both tours for longer than I have. Lee Westwood, for example, could disagree with me about, my take on the difference in the tours, but that's kind of what I've seen so far.
Well, I was curious.
Well, it's funny you bring up Lee Westwood. We're doing him next, right?
Yeah, we got him
Freddie
coming up.
We got him.
We got couples.
Yeah.
We got Max Homa.
So let me ask you a question. If let's say you go out there and you come in top 5 in money earned this whole year.
Yeah, that'd be a great year with what I get into.
Well, that would be unbelievable, right? You would be happy with that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So does that mean if you're top 5 over there, you automatically qualify for the PGA Tour, or would you still have to go to qualifying school to get your card?
Yeah, so as the system works now, top 50 is like golden over here on the PGA Tour. Top 50 in the world. So that's official world golf ranking.
Okay, so if you finish top 5 over there, you would be top 50 in the world.
I would presume so. Yeah.
Yeah.
You would hope. So that's kind of the goal. So my first kind of initial goal is see if I can crack the top 100 to get into the PGA in May. Obviously, I've got some work to do that. Probably would take a win and several other good weeks. So that's in Southern Hills, which is obviously close. And then everything else, there's no real set way to make the jump back over here, other than playing really well and hopefully getting your 7 sponsor exemptions or how many ever you're allocated on the PGA Tour, like so many have done, and then parlayed that into getting
like
their
a guy
status.
like Tommy Fleetwood. He played over there didn't he, in the European Tour?
Oh, yeah.
For how many years?
Koepka.
How many years did he play over there? Tommy, before
Probably.
he became over here, and
he
now he's
still
a
plays.
household
That's
name.
still his main
Yeah,
tour,
but he's
isn't
a
it?
household name here, is
Sure
what I'm
is.
trying to say. There's a lot of guys over
You
there that
picked
play.
him for the he was your
Yeah.
pick for the Masters.
Right.
He's
But
your dark horse. Right?
there's so many guys over from Europe that are household names over here now that played on the tour that you're going to be playing on, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah. So they didn't have to go to Q school. They had some sponsors exemptions, or they got top 50 of the world, and then they came over here, and I'm sure Tommy Fleetwood plays in the majority of the events here, but we'll go back and play in the Rolex events over there, right?
Yeah.
And exactly. I forgot also key thing is if you get in the top 100, I believe you're eligible for the Korn Ferry Tour Finals, which is how a lot of those guys have made the jump. They get into the 3-event playoff event on the Korn Ferry Tour, and that's where they have 25 cards up for grabs. So that's how a lot of guys make the jump as well.
So you have to be top 100
in the world, yeah, official world golf ranking, and then if you're in the top 100, you're able to play the Korn Ferry
Tour
3-event
Finals
playoffs. That's my understanding of how it works. We'd obviously have to check up on that, but I'm pretty sure that's how a lot of guys have made the jump. And then there's a partnership now developing between the two tours. And before I started playing over there, it was pretty much very, very separate. But now they have 3 PGA Tour events that are co-sanctioned. So there's a good chance I get into the Barbasol, which is in Kentucky, the tournament out at Lake Tahoe, which I believe Gary won.
Yeah.
When he was young, kind of kickstarted him, and then Bermuda, I believe they're going to add as well. So they'll be co-sanctioned where you can earn Race to Dubai points and FedEx Cup points. So hopefully those are 3 events that I'll be able to get into, and you have a good week there that can really help you make the jump back over to the States.
So speaking of Dubai, you've been saying let's take the underground back on the road again.
Yeah.
Maybe we put this on circle our calendar from 1 year from now and go to Dubai. And maybe we should bring our producer with us. What do you think, Turtle?
Right. Not Sinks. He's
What are you
out.
going to do in Dubai?
Let's go. Dubai's
What are you
amazing.
talking about?
I've been there.
You've been there.
It's amazing.
Well,
All
I've never
those
been there,
buildings.
George. Tell us about it.
We'll go bar hopping.
Well, I went on a safari about 5 years ago, and we flew to Dubai and stayed there for 2 or 3 days, and then we flew down to Kenya, down in Kenya for 2 weeks, and then after the safari, I went to Cape Town for like 3 or 4 days, and then went to Schellenbach, which is the wine country there in South Africa. And you've been in Napa Valley, Sonoma Valley.
Yeah.
It's 50 times bigger.
Really?
You talk about a beautiful valley.
In Africa?
And there's only one South African wine I've ever heard of. So we went to Ernie L's winery.
Oh, I bet that's good.
And he had his, it's probably a replica, but he had a replica of the claret jug from the,
Cool.
from the, what's
From
that?
the Open.
tournament? Yeah, from the Open, the British Open.
I bet the Big Easy.
It was really neat.
You think the Big Easy's a big George Brett fan? I bet the Big Easy.
I saw him last week. I saw him from a distance when I was in Arizona. I went to watch the, what was it, Charles Schwab Cup, thing, the final round.
Yeah.
And
So tell
I
us
think
about
Mickelson won the tournament, but Bernard Langer won the cup.
Yeah.
Because of all the top tens
He's
and wins
great.
that he has.
How
But
do
it was
couples
great.
wind up?
Freddie, hadn't played in 6 weeks, and he went out and shot 5 under the day I followed him. And he ended up 10 or 11 for the day, and said he played pretty good. For
Did
him.
you remind him?
He hasn't played. He hasn't played in 6 weeks. And he can't practice because his back's so bad. He
Always.
just goes out and gets loose and plays, but he's so talented.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, is he talented.
Did you remind him? He's got a date
Yeah,
with
he's
us?
going to come on. He's going to come on the show.
Okay.
Let's just get him to Kansas City, or maybe we can come to. Sounds like he wants to come
He's
back to your
coming
house.
Arizona. He wants to come to Arizona. He said end of November, beginning of December.
Let's go on the road, Bordeaux.
Maybe we need to put George on the committee to get a Champions Tour event in Kansas City.
Where would they play?
Oh, plenty of courses, I would
They
think.
used to have a
They
champion
can
store
use.
here.
I'm pretty sure
They
they
used
can
to
use
have- Lloyd,
They
and then-
used to have. They played at Loch Lloyd. They played at the National, and the National got rained out, stormed out every time. I caddied for Larry Ziegler at Loch Lloyd, and he won the tournament, Chase. So if your caddy ever gets sick, call me. And I caddied for Wardo. I'm 2 out of 3 caddying in championships. I caddied 2 years for Wardo, won one, lost one, and I caddied Larry Ziegler, and we won.
And you're 1 for 1 in club championships with you caddied for the caddy, Joe Scovrin.
Yes, I caddied for the caddy. I caddied for Super Joe.
Did you have a bigger celebration after you won the club championship or after you caddied to the victory in town?
Obviously, his club championship win takes
He
precedent.
shed tears.
I did.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, he shed tears. All right, let's do this. Let's take a commercial break. When we come back, I'm curious about the very personal side of Jace Hanna. Happy to know that your girlfriend's name is Hanna. Also learned in one of her answers that she's traveled with you on this journey of yours, which usually leads to love. And I want to know if you annoy the hell out of her when you leave your bath towel on the floor. So come on back. You're on the Golf Underground, ESPN Radio.
I think I shit my pants. Again? Yeah, no, I think like I'm trying to fart, and I think it was just stuff coming out of there.
we get that live?
You did.
Go clean it. Wet, at least.
Go clean it.
Jeez.
Hey, Brian Sullivan of Golf Underground with my favorite orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Kevin Whitty from Sano Orthopedics. Hey, Doc, golf season's over. My back is killing me. I know it's football season, so you get a lot of kids coming in, blown ACLs, all sorts of body parts with problems. And then, of course, those baseball players. I know you fix a lot of elbows. Why is Sano Orthopedics the absolute best sports medicine orthopedic group in Kansas City?
Well, if you want to see the guys in town have had the best orthopedic fellowship training in sports medicine, including training with Dr. James Andrews and Dr. Larry Lemack, come see us. We individualize patients' plans to get them back to that activity and that sport that they love, and we actually care and listen to our patients and follow up with them, make sure that they're getting the results they need.
Okay, and so the 3 things that separate you: number 1, best training; number 2, you specialize in getting people on that field; number 3, you're actually listen. Where can I learn more? Because you got me all in, and I don't really want to get fixed, but it's time.
At SanoOrthopedics.com, 816-525-2840.
Hi, this is George Brett, Hall of Fame baseball player, and I've been playing golf for over 35 years. Hitting the ball far was never my problem, but the closer I got to the greens, that's when my problems began. When I wanted a golf practice area in my backyard, I called Celebrity Greens. They are the industry leader in custom-built synthetic golf greens. These championship caliber, low-maintenance greens roll great, react like real bent grass, and hold chip shots that check and spin. I absolutely love mine, not only in Kansas City, but also in Arizona. Call the pros at Celebrity Greens at 1-888-507-7960 or visit them online at celebritygreens.com. Practice like the pros, or people like me that want to be pros, right in your own backyard.
Hey, Brian Sullivan, Golf Underground, with a little tip for you. If you're looking to buy a new Ford, you have to check out my buddy, Jason Gudenkoff at Lewisburg Ford. They've been saving Midwest Ford buyers thousands of bucks for over 40 years because they do business the right way. They sell everything, check this out, for $50 over invoice. That's simple and cheap. And they win a lot of awards. In fact, they won Ford's President's Award 17 times. That's the top Ford award. And they only give it to dealers with superior customer satisfaction in sales and service. So they know how to take care of customers better than anybody. Now, what these guys know how to do also, keep this in mind, sell trucks. Lewisburg Ford has sold more F-150s than any other Ford dealership in greater Kansas City. That's 2 years running. And last year, they were the #1 F-150 sales leader in the entire state of Kansas. So, no hassle. $50 over invoice pricing, unparalleled customer satisfaction, and a huge selection. That's a perfect recipe for selling trucks. So, check out all their inventory and prices online at lewisburgford.com or give them a call at 816-444-2300.
New golf clubs, a big screen TV to watch the U.S. Open, or maybe even a new golf cart that I've got my eye on.
No matter how you choose to spend the savings, if you're looking to put a dent in your monthly heating and cooling bills, the answer may be right over your head. If your attic isn't insulated properly, you're missing out on a prime opportunity to cut costs. Call the certified energy experts at Star Companies, Inc., 816-353-2160 for a free estimate to learn how they can help you save money. 816-353-2160 or visit starcompanieskc.com.
Do you have retirement dreams about perfecting your swing and spending your time on the green? Or maybe you have a bucket list of golf courses you'd like to travel to. Whatever your financial goals are, Mariner Wealth Advisors is your advocate. We take the same care in understanding where you stand today as we do in understanding where you want to be in the future. Then, we help you set a personalized plan to help you achieve your long-term vision. Contact Mariner Wealth Advisors today to start your financial planning journey. Visit MarinerWealthAdvisors.com to find a location near you.
Mariner Wealth Advisors, otherwise known as MWA, is an SEC-registered investment advisor. Registration of an investment advisor does not imply a certain level of skill or training. For additional information about MWA, including fees and services, please contact MWA or refer to the disclosures on our website. Please read the disclosure statement carefully before you invest or send money. This advertisement should not be considered investment advice or a recommendation to buy or sell securities.
Yeah,
hey, welcome
clearly.
back. Golf Underground, ESPN Radio, back in the stable. We are with Chase Hanna, European PGA Tour member, Kansas City, great fellow, lives in his mom's basement, drives a Ford Fusion, is going to marry
got a girlfriend named Hanna. If they get married, her name will be Hanna.
Yeah. Now listen, before the commercial
and when
break,
the cop pulls her over, he'll say, "What's your name?" And she'll say, "Hanna." And he'll say, "Quit stuttering."
He'll say, "Have you been drinking?" He'll definitely make her. Never. So anyway, hey, before the commercial break, we had a whole other segment that we were going to do, but we had an emergency here in the Golf Underground. I looked to my right.
Kevin did a Bellagio.
I saw a little bit of this, right? And thank God Turtle would cut the camera away over to Chase and George, and he started scratching himself, and so Wardo shit his pants.
Not good.
We know this because he got up and his wife validated this with a little streak. Now, he went away and we had to clean the couch. And this is what we found. And so
souvenir for you.
Well, this is the second time I've soiled my britches in the last 3 years. And George was there for both of them. So we're going to blame the soiling of the britches on George.
Turtle, would you?
The good news is I was at the Bellagio fountains on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night, and I was dry as could be. And that's where it all happened 25 years ago.
That was way after the shrimp.
After the
lobster.
Crab claws. Crab claws.
The crab claws.
No, crab claws.
Crab claws.
What is wrong with you two?
Oh, well.
Hey, well, listen, this is good
Hey,
now.
Sully, there's two types of people in this world.
What?
Those that have pooped and those that are about to.
Well, we had good shit your pants stories. Faraday had one too.
If you're sick, you're sick. You can't do anything about it.
You can't do anything about it.
If you do it because you're lonely or you don't have time and you're trying to hold it, you're lonely.
When you're lonely, you shit your
lazy.
pants?
You're lazy and you just go, what the hell? And you go in your pants. You're an idiot. But if you're sick, there's nothing you can do. It's going to happen.
Well, and when you're sick and you got a primetime player like this on the show and you don't feeling your best, you just show up, you put your game day outfit on.
That's why Kenny Lawrence, Kenny Lawrence from the club at Mission Hills. Great guy. Love Kenny to death. He only wears black pants. Black pants and a white shirt every time he plays golf.
Just
because
in case.
one time he was wearing white ones and he had an accident. So he says, screw this, I'm wearing black pants. You watch all summer next year. Every time you see him, he's wearing black pants.
No shorts, black pants.
There were black shorts or black long pants.
Well,
but he'll never wear anything but black.
What's strange to me is you called before we
That's
had the
why
program.
Tiger Woods only wears black.
Because he goes
and a red shirt every Sunday, right? He wears black pants, right? Phil, same thing. They have the same problem.
Did you wake up with an upset stomach? Because when I walked in, you said you're upset.
Maybe
And
a
then,
little
so
bit.
why would you bring into the stable Mexican food?
I wasn't thinking about it. I was grinding on some prep for the show.
See, Gary has no clue. He has no problem because he wears white pants all the time.
Yes.
Yeah. He must have
If he does what you did on the golf course, how embarrassing would that be for him?
Pretty bad.
Yeah.
With, excuse me, white pants.
But if you
He'd
recall,
do black pants like Tiger and Phil do probably every round.
But if you recall, a couple of years ago, we were going to play Loch Lloyd, and I was in the men's locker room and had my white shorts on, and Gary, it was me, you, Gary, and Mike Illig, and I just absolutely let one rip.
Yeah.
And little did you know,
went and bought another pair of brown shorts in the pro shop.
Yeah. I bought some nice Slazenger shorts off the sale rack.
I have a friend of mine, Stevie Obradovich, does that all the time.
Shits
He
his
does,
pants?
yeah, he does it all the time.
Yeah.
See, why would you prep for a third segment? Because you never know what's going to happen in segment 1 or 2.
Well, I just wonder if Sarah would have married you if she knew that you had the anus of a 67-year-old man.
8.
8.
Give me some credit, will you?
Amazing.
All right. Well, let's focus on our guest because we're freaking him out right now. Right? And by the way, Colt Knost would not get deep into conversation like this on his very professional golf program.
No chance.
Nah, it's too many listeners.
Too many listeners.
All right, Chase Hanna. All right, so before the break, we talked about your journey to the top, the fighting, street fighter. You're working hard. You're playing 3 weeks in a row. You're dominating. But there's
3, that's for soft kids.
Right.
Yeah.
7.
Oh, yeah, that's
7.
Good.
He went 7 off 1, 7 off 1, 7. How's that?
You were listening.
Yeah.
Very good. So you have a very personal side. We talked a little bit about Hanna. She travels with you to Europe, and you'd mentioned she's not only part of the team, she's really part of the team. Tell us more.
Yeah, big part. So she caddied 5 events this year, and we made 4 cuts. She'd caddied before, so her first 2 weeks were in Cadiz, which was just near Seville on the coast. It was beautiful. 2 top 10s in a row.
Wow.
With 1 day in between, so she was
Nice.
caddying 8 of 9 days.
Wow.
Killed it.
You made her carry that big ass bag.
No. Didn't have to carry it those 2 weeks.
You had a cart?
She was riding a golf cart?
No. Smaller one, like carry bag.
Oh, yeah, the Sunday bag.
Then I started to play on the main tour, so I started carrying the staff bag. And then she came back and caddied 2 more.
With the staff bag?
Yes, and she actually liked it better to an extent because it was more comfortable. She said it's heavier, but she'd get the clubs in easier. So she's big time. Yeah, she's big time. She was
That's
trying
Marion type.
So
right
when
there.
she's caddying for you, what advice is she giving you?
really what I always
Distance.
tell people is you really can't act like an asshole when she's caddying for you. If you do, you're just the worst kind of human, right? So you really have to keep your head
The
on.
cameras
straight.
are on, too.
Yeah,
Right.
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't.
You'd get canceled if you were mean to her.
Well, yeah, you can't. You certainly can't be mean to her, but you also just can't blow up too much. And sometimes I run a little hot on the course, so it keeps you more mellow. And then we made 2 more cuts, a 15th thrown in there, and then you played the weekend, but what happened on the weekend kind of tournament. And then the last tournament she caddied for, we missed the cut, or I missed the cut. Certainly not we in this instance, because she had to work on Thursday. So not only was she caddying, she was double duty most weeks, and by far the hardest working person there on property for the week.
She works for Ernst & Young, I believe.
Works for Ernst & Young,
Yeah.
in New York, and obviously with COVID and everything, she's much more flexible with her travel and kind of can work from
you say
anywhere.
that because one of the Golf Underground's latest guests, Dylan Wu, Dylan's brother worked at Ernst & Young, and then when Dylan got his big tour card, his brother said, "I'm at Peace and Hair Grease, Ernst & Young. I'm going on tour with Big Bro."
Okay, you hit a 200. Let's say you hit a 320-yard drive, and it's a par 5, and you get up there, and your girlfriend Hanna will say, "Will you say how far do I got?"
No,
Or
no.
you'll get there and she'll tell you. Does she look at the book at all?
No, so I would do the books that week. I would do my numbers, do everything, and I did get a wrong number once in Birmingham, but totally my fault. And then
She doesn't help you read greens?
nope, really doesn't do I mean, maybe I've called her in for like one read, but if
Right.
I have to call her in, then we got serious problems because she's not a golfer herself.
So you knock the ball in the green, you pick it up, you throw it to her, she cleans your ball.
Cleans. She does everything. She loves, like, she's on it with that stuff. You know, raking bunkers, replacing divots, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of, you know, questions I have I will every once in a while ask her, you know, what she thinks the wind's doing, because a lot of the time her hair's blowing, so you don't even have to throw grass up. You just look at her hair.
Right.
So speaking of caddies, it's ironic this all happened because I was sitting on the couch last night having a nice little tequila sipper, had a nice little turtle dinner, some tacos, and I asked her, I was flipping the channels, and I had on women's golf. And there was a ruling, there was a drop, and this gal kept dropping it, and it was rolling into the little grate there. I said, Turtle, would you rather caddy for a month on the LPGA tour or teach over and over and over your least 3 favorite students here at the stable? Guess what she said?
Caddy on the women's tour.
Caddy on the women's tour so I can I can be in the sun and work on my tan.
See, honest.
Pretty good answer.
Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, she's very transparent.
So you know, that's definitely Hannah's case. She likes being outside. And
so did you notice on the
slugging
weeks
the
that
sticks.
she was caddying for you that the groups, the people in the galleries that were following you increased?
Probably a lot more people
100%.
followed you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, they
didn't even
got a
know
lot
your
bigger.
name. They were following her, you
Yeah.
idiot. What did she wear when she caddied? She wore shorts.
Jeez.
I don't know, George. You'll have to come out and see for yourself.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what? I'm going to go home and pull up, do your bio. Maybe we'll have a picture of her.
George,
Is she good looking?
Yeah, she is.
Huh?
Very.
How
yes.
tall is she?
Well, we were just talking about that today. She wants to be 5'6", so we'll call her 5'5".
Okay.
I like it.
But do you see how he glows when he talks about it?
He does. He got a smile
Did
on
you
his
see
face.
what-
He
like,
reminds me of Frenchie Smile. He's got Frenchie
He
Smile
does.
when we talk about
But it
Hanna.
was really when he talked about her hair blows, and I don't even need to throw the grass into
Yeah.
the. You really lit up right there. You know what, Turtle? Why doesn't Wardo give you a little bit more of the Chase Hanna-ness?
Yeah, why don't you get
Why
on the
don't
loop?
you got to get a
If
little
you get on the loop,
softer.
then George will be out of a job.
Maybe George would have, or Kevin would have won Section Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Did you say want sex and be player of the year?
Whoa, whoa!
You were not player of the year this year.
I
Did you come in second?
I was in second.
Stella was. Stella was player of the year.
Yes, she was.
All right. Well, that has got to be really cool. So you're going to continue having her caddy now that you're a little step up now. Are you going to need somebody to help be a second opinion on those putts? And if that day comes, let's role play the conversation, shall we?
Yeah, I mean, never say never. As of right now, I've got a guy who I really like from New Zealand, so I guess for some reason I'm attracted to these New Zealand guys.
Yes, sir.
Who isn't? Charlie
Graham
and Harry.
Peacock. No, certainly not Charlie or Harry. Got to have somebody more competent than those two.
Yeah, and sober.
Yeah, more reliable too. You're at the range hitting balls, and you're going, "Where the hell's my caddy?" Yeah. You're on the first tee with your bag, and you're going, "Where's my caddy?"
He's in the 19th hole still.
Yeah.
So never say never, but it's hard to. He's been really good to me, and he's obviously helped me a lot. So it's hard to let him go for a week of work to have her caddy. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to keep going with Graham for obviously the kind of the foreseeable future. But hopefully she can sub in here and now when Graham needs a week off.
That's
okay.
awesome.
So what do you guys pay your caddies over there? Do they get a percentage of the winnings or and a flat fee?
Yes. So I'm sure there's a lot of different range of payments being done over there, but as a general rule, on the Corn Ferry or the Challenger, kind of the level we're at on the European Tour, it's about $1,000 US and 7%, 10% for a win, and obviously kind of from there it can kind of change.
And he's going to fly over.
Just like the player's a free agent, the caddies are,
Right, and he's going to fly over from New Zealand to Cape Town. Does he pay his own expenses, or do you pay those?
Yeah, he lives in Thailand now, so he covers his expenses. It's amazing.
Wow.
It's amazing how few expenses the caddies can have.
Yeah, well, they'll get 8 in a room, won't they?
Yeah, not that much, but they'll,
They get super snuggly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
I mean,
can
I
do
like
that
staying
with
as
your
close as I can to the course.
He doesn't stay as close as you.
They don't care. They don't view it as that important as I do. But no, he's been awesome. They cover their expenses, and it's certainly not a glamorous life, but he's been great, and hopefully, I'm sure he has the same goal as me, is to get over here on the PGA Tour.
Yeah, maybe you could steal a famous announcer like Bones is now working for JT. Maybe you can get Wardo as your caddy.
That's right.
Huh?
go.
This famous media guy.
Let's go.
Yeah. All right, you know what time it is, Wardo? It's time for the famous
Sheridan's Unforked, eating good and feeling good rapid fire. Are you ready to enter the emergency 6 brought to you by Wardo?
Ready to go.
All right. The favorite golf course in the world. Go.
Jeez.
It's called rapid fire, Chase.
I don't even have a good answer.
Question 2.
Southern Hills.
If you pooped your pants and you were 6 under on the 12th hole, would you go wipe or just ride it out?
Well, I mean, it depends. You're on the 12th hole. You're out in the middle of the course. So, I mean, I think you'd have to go find some grass and just
wipe it.
What would you do, Wardo?
Well, I'd find a little break, take a little time out like I did, and go wipe a little bit.
Kind of like what Woody did on the 4th hole at Scottsdale. Remember when he ran into the bathroom?
Oh, yeah.
Like we were talking about earlier, I think
go.
the answer to that question depends on the color of your pants.
I like that. Hey, good call there. All right, the best short game you've ever seen. Who has it?
Charlie Hilliard's is pretty good. Yeah, we'll go with Charlie.
If you could change one thing other than being on the PGA Tour right now about your career, it would be what?
Oh, I mean,
what would
10
his
more
job be?
yards? I don't know. I mean,
10, there you go.
Yeah.
So let's go get it.
What was the answer?
If you could change one thing about your game.
Oh.
I'll take 10 more yards.
How far do you hit it now?
I mean, 320. I would like it if I can hit it consistently 300 in the air. So you get a little roll.
Okay.
What is your main focus going to be after these next 3 weeks of what you're going to do with your game? Tell the listeners.
Yeah, after these 3 weeks, it'll be important to really build up my body for a long season upcoming in 22. Work out at least twice a day mainly, and just try to kind of bulk up, put on a little weight, and pick up some speed. I just think when you play as much golf as I have this year, especially, you're going to lose some speed, lose some strength. So try to build up for another long stretch like I had this year, and not lose your strength.
Okay, Thursday after the round.
Okay. Final question.
Thursday after your round, Thursday in Cape Town, right? That's where you're
Johannesburg.
Johannesburg. Thursday after the round, what are you going to have for dinner? What would you normally eat?
Normally eat usually kind of what the country's known for. Usually, I mean, if you're in Italy, you stick to Italian food.
Okay.
But in South Africa, you definitely have some sort of piece of meat, probably some steak.
Yeah. Okay. Friday after the round, will you have meat every night, or will you have chicken one night?
I think in South Africa, you got to go with meat. Yeah.
Do you eat healthy?
Yeah, I try to.
Salads, vegetables.
Yeah, I try to eat vegetables, meat.
Favorite vegetable?
Broccoli.
That was quick. That
was rapid.
Will you have a beer after a round? Go in the clubhouse and have a beer?
Sunday I might, but not
Sunday.
Not
So you shut it off during the tournament week?
Yeah, shut it off. Yeah.
Okay. Will you have a glass of wine? Nothing.
No.
What do you drink with dinner? Water?
Water, maybe
milk?
Maybe a Coke, but usually water.
Mother's milk.
No, definitely not milk.
No.
Milk and I
makes you shit your pants.
Milk and I don't work together.
I had a lot of milk this morning.
God, I have a glass of milk every morning. I love milk.
You're kind of the generation though who grew up drinking it,
right?
Big time.
Hey George, you think
I'm the generation where the milkman would drop it off at your front step every morning? How's that?
Would you drink it before games when you're playing?
No.
But the morning of?
Oh yeah, every morning I have a glass of milk.
Yeah.
Piece of toast and a glass of milk.
Maybe you could become the sponsor of the spokesperson of the Dairy Farmers of America, kind of like how I cannot be in my kitchen in the morning. Leanne's got the TV on while she's doing her little computer stuff. I see your face at the kitchen table doing the Blue Cross Blue Shield every morning. I send
Blue Cross
text,
and Blue Shield.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield.
I said about 3 takes it took. I kept saying Blue Cross Blue Shield. They said no, it's Blue Cross and Blue Shield. I thought
you were the one take wonder.
Blue Cross Blue Shield. No, it's and. I said okay, I'll get it this time.
You did great.
I go Blue Cross Blue Shield. They go no, it's and. So then I go Blue Cross and Blue Shield.
You did.
They go bingo. You got it.
You did.
Now just don't put that much emphasis on and.
Hey, you're the 10 take one.
What was the name of the guy who lived in the house? I want to see how engaged you were. Who was on set with you? Not his real name. What was his character name?
I don't recall.
His name was Brian.
Brian.
His name was Brian.
Same
And you know what? And you even said, "Thank you, Brian."
Yeah. Okay.
Gosh, you get so into the zone when you're acting. It's really awesome. It's, really
awesome.
All right. Well, listen, Chase, best of luck. We're going to follow your journey. We do have one last question. And we asked this question of, maybe it was a demand of Harry Higgs. We said, when you win your first tournament, what would you allow us physically to do to your body?
I don't even know what that means.
That's how most people react.
Does that mean, like, can he beat me?
Anything that, whatever you would like the three of us to do.
You want to know what
Harry said shave his back or something, right?
We get to do something to your
that's
body.
right, because, Harry's shaved the back deal.
Right.
I don't know. I'm way more better looking than Harry, so I feel like nothing.
Oh, there it is.
No,
let's get this guy on tour.
Wardo gets to strip down only in his white underwear and ride you like a horse after he eats tacos.
Tacos. I like it.
I have a feeling, I get a PGA Tour win, we'll have to upgrade this vault with some.
Attaboy. I like it.
With some merch.
There you go. Let's get some Chase Hanna staff bags. How about that?
Yeah, there we go.
I love it. All right. Hey, listen, I hope you had a great time with Chase Hanna. Follow him. You will be able to check him out on the European Tour. Most of these tournaments now, 2 a.m., baby. I'm all over.
And if you have a business and you want some advertising, it's not going to cost you that much money. No. He's on the European Tour. You get right in at the baby steps of his career, and you start a great relationship with him. And then when he's playing in the Masters, your logo will be there for half of what it would be if you tried to get him when he's in the Masters.
Yeah, George
start a
like
long-term relationship right now with this young man.
Yeah.
Again, and especially, I'm not kidding you, he's the type of guy, if you have a daughter, you would want your daughter to marry. So,
Amen.
He's a wonderful man. I've known him for a long time because he went to school with my kids. And he always asks about him, which I think is really nice.
Bingo.
God, this is unbelievable.
This is amazing.
Lancers, George.
Go Lancers.
Go
Once
Lancers.
a Lancer, always a Lancer.
It's kind of like the Royals and Salvi. Get in.
Salvi gets it cheap. They get him. They overpay a little bit at the beginning, and at the end of his career, that's a pretty good deal. Same thing here with this young man.
All right, well, listen, hey, you make sure you have a great time with your friends and family. 10%. We have Thanksgiving come out, and we're great. Listen, I'm in the middle of the big crescendo right here, George.
Not yet. Come on, jump on this guy.
Let's get him going.
All right, hey, we'll see you next week on the Golf Underground ESPN Radio.
Not going to cost you that much to fly him from the States to Europe. Not going to be that much. G5, don't worry about it.
I'm waking up to ash and dust. I wipe my brow and I sweat my rust. I'm breathing in the chemicals.